Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. The food business is always a money maker. Now, I probably did this video or this theme several times. But I'm telling you though, food, I'm gonna tell you what. I follow on like IG, I follow a lot of like restaurants and things of that nature. It's scary how there's a couple I follow, shoot, they starting a franchise now. They starting a franchise. And then for a long time, I hadn't told the story about that guy, the chicken wing guy, buffalo wing guy. He started off like just delivering like buffalo wings to different barber shops in the area, right? He started off that way. Then all of a sudden, he got to the point that he had 3 restaurants. Now, if I knew how to spell his last name, well, I could probably track him down, see what he doing. But it was money and it was pretty quick. See, here's the thing with food. If you're good at making some food, you can always make money. It don't take a while. In fact, one of the things when I was still married, my wife, she could make vegan cookies. We had 4 stores we had them in. Seriously, because that's the beauty of food. In fact, like not even just being in a restaurant or maybe just making a food product or something like that. You can because people always going to eat. Shoot, you got some people, they just going around on food trucks and stuff, and then they had to expand. Because the thing with food, okay, like say you have a restaurant somewhere. As long as the food is good and the customer service is halfway decent. In fact, I got a story about that. Halfway decent, people gonna keep coming back. You get return customers. In fact, in a story about that, I know of this place. I ain't gonna name the place, but they had notoriously bad customer service. But they got away with it. They've actually improved. I was there roughly a year ago or something, because they've been in business for a very long time and they improved the customer service. But I remember when it was just bad, but the food was so good, people were out the door. But you want to still have good customer service anyway. Don't give people a reason not to show up. And definitely, it comes down, see, the food business is always a money maker because it just has to be good. Now, of course, there's probably some restaurants that didn't succeed or something. And usually it's because the food wasn't good or bad customer service. If it was a restaurant. Usually if it's some product or something, products usually go very well. They usually go very well. It's just a matter of just making it because, let's put it like this. A wise man once said the 3 ways you can make money, you'll always make money, is drugs, sex, and guns to protect the operation. Food in many ways is a drug. You always gonna eat it. Once I always joke about the buffalo wings, but I was always getting buffalo wings. That's how I know the buffalo wing guy. I was always getting some food from his place. But when he had sold the place and, moved out of the area, I went to the same place to get the buffalo wings. They weren't as good. The food wasn't as good. The customer service wasn't the same. See, that's the key to it, though. It has to be good. It has to have a good taste. It has to have something that people are going to come back for. Now, especially if you have a restaurant, people always come back for that. And it's actually a third thing in there. It's actually a third piece with the restaurant, depending on the restaurant. The third thing is it's a place to go. It's a third space. Now, a third space is a place people go to hang out, do whatever. Like cafes are third spaces. I'll do a separate video on that in the future. But they're a good third space. In fact, I'll do it next week on a good third space. But a good restaurant, place you can hang out, eat, maybe have some jazz or something in the background. People meet in there. People always come in there. But it's the food, everything. In fact, there's a couple places. I remember I used to go to this place back in the day that was... It was just a bookstore. It was just a bookstore, and it was all about, the owner would have poetry nights. But one of the things he started doing was like getting, hooking up some little food, pastries and all of that, selling that. He started making some money doing that. See, food is always good. And I don't care. In fact, when you look at many like immigrants who will come to this country, or any country really, one of the first things they do is open up a restaurant. They'll open up a restaurant. And because people going to eat. People socialize around food. In fact, people who know I had a stroke and also had something I couldn't eat for a while. And one of the things I missed was not so much the food, but missed it, but just the socialization around it. I was like, man, I got to fix this. And my speech therapist had mentioned that. So a food business, like if it's a restaurant, cafe, that's a socialization thing too. And I'll talk more about that next week, the third space. But just the food thing, like if you can cook, you can make money. There's been some people I've met and they could cook very well. I would tell them, hey, you can do this. I remember when I was working in the government, right? And it was, they had a couple of women, they would actually make plates and people would buy stuff. They'd make about a few $100s because they'll bring plates, charge like $7 or something, bring a plate of food or something. There's so much. I heard about a woman that lived in a neighborhood. She didn't work, but everybody else did. She would make the food for them. It's always a moneymaker, but you have to be able to cook. That's the main thing, and your food has to be good. Your food has to be a drug where people want to eat it again. As long as they can eat it again and again, they're going to come back. And that's something always to look into. Like if I were to invest, I would invest in I would actually invest in a private restaurant or something. If I was to invest, the stock market, that's not me. I would want a piece of ownership of some food business. It don't have to be 50% or anything. It could be like 10%, as long as they're making money. Because that's the beauty of it. It keeps going, and I don't care what it is. I've seen several restaurants. I've known restaurant owners and everything. And once they start the business, it will usually stay up until they decide to move. Like I know a lot of vegan restaurant owners and stuff. I know a whole lot of them, and once they open up, once they get their food, it's like a drug. People keep coming back, and depending on the nature of the store, it's also a social place. So very important. It's always a money maker. Like if you trying to think about how you can make some money, think about it. Like I said, my ex-wife, now co-parent, she was making vegan cookies, and we had 4 stores that we were making money from just selling the cookies. So it's always a money maker, all right? It's always a money maker. So the food business. So, and I'm gonna talk about that third space thing in the next episode, next week, all right? Anyway, y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.